Hello, everybody. Steve here with another video from Common Sense Christianity. Hope everyone is doing okay today. And today, I was just thinking about some of my previous YouTube videos on narcissism. And I might have alluded to what are the types of narcissism, but I don't know if I got into any kind of detail on that. So today I want to talk about the different types of narcissism and maybe a few of the subtypes of narcissism, just so we can have a good understanding that when we are confronted with it, or when we read about it, when we talk about it, we can understand what those differences are, because some of the differences are pretty big, and based on the type of narcissism that a person has, should help you understand and possibly know how to deal with those types of narcissism. But first of all, I just want to read you a scripture which I believe will help you in your in your daily life, in your everyday coping, not only with narcissism, but with everything that happens to you in your life. It's a pretty good axiom to think about. I would try to think about it at night before you go to bed, and even when you wake up in the morning, something good to sleep on, and then also something good to wake up on. And it's from Philippians, the 3rd chapter and the 13th verse. Philippians 3:13, and Philippians is in the New Testament. If you want to read it, if you want to read the whole portion of scripture, it's always good to do that to get an understanding of the context of what's going on. But for this case, I'm just going to read one verse, the 13th verse, and it says, "Brothers, I do not consider that I have made it on my own, but one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead." Forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead. And this is applicable in just about any area of your life, but especially in dealing with narcissism, or dealing with narcissists, I might say. We tend to, just because of it's our human nature to carry things, to worry, to have anxiety, to feel stressed, to feel down, on our own selves, about our own shortcomings, about our own failures, about our own limitations. And that carries over. And what it does, it just simply causes more and more stress. So when we're involved with a narcissist, either at work, at home, friends, whatever the case might be, it inevitably has an effect on us, on our psyche, on our disposition, on our emotional well-being. And we carry that over from day to day, year to year, sometimes decade to decade. But what this scripture is telling us is that every day is a new day. And the only way really to keep ourselves mentally strong and keep ourselves healing and growing is to, forget what happened in the past. And of course, we will never completely forget things. Things are kind of etched in our memory, but leave the baggage of what happened in the past and strive for the new. Strive for where it is that you want to be. And if you read the rest of that scripture, it lets us know how to do that. And it all involves our spiritual relationship with Christ, and allowing him to heal us, and allowing him to renew our mind, and allowing him to help us to get where we need to be, where he wants us to be. So if you get a chance to read that, it will definitely help you. Just leave the past behind, leave the baggage, leave the hurt, leave the all of the things, all of your failures, all of our situations that happen to us. It might be easier said than done, but at least if you have the mindset to leave those things in the past, the hold on them, on you, will slowly subside as you concentrate more on your future and where it is that you need to be. Okay, so let us quickly get to the three classic types of narcissism, and we'll talk about some of the subtypes too. So the three classic types of narcissism are: number one, the classic narcissist; number two, the vulnerable narcissist; and number three, which is the worst kind, is malignant narcissist. So I'll briefly give you some definitions for all three. Now, the classic narcissists are those narcissists who we call them high functioning. They are at work in society and they're doing their thing, but you'll notice that they have, something common to all narcissists, and that they have a grandiose sense of self. They are usually attention seeking. They like to be the center of attention. They expect others to heap praise on them almost, all the time. And then they also feel entitled to special treatment. When the focus is not on them, they get bored, distracted. But the thing is that they are so desperate to feel important. They just have this need to be lifted up by other people and to feel superior. And, they can make you feel like you're nothing because all of the attention has to be around them. So that is the classic narcissist. Pretty easy to spot. The next one is the vulnerable narcissist, sometimes called a closet narcissist. And these individuals don't necessarily have to be in the spotlight, but they seek to be tied to those who are in the spotlight. So they are very attracted to the classic narcissist, and their whole sense of being and worth and whatever is attached to that particular narcissist. They sometimes seek pity, can be the victim in a lot of cases. But they do these things just like the classic narcissist in order to receive, admiration. That's how they get their supply and self-worth. Now, the third type, the malignant narcissist, is the one that is really what we call toxic narcissists. And they are really the very manipulative and exploitative type of people. They can be antisocial, often seen as being mean-spirited. Their primary goal is to dominate in every situation. They want to control. They are, those type of people who micromanage to the nth. And sometimes, when it's really bad, they may even enjoy the suffering of others. These type of individuals kind of borderline on being sociopaths and psychopaths. And these are the most toxic and dangerous kind of narcissists. So those are the three. Once again, we have the classic, the vulnerable, and the malignant. And the malignant is definitely the worst type. And so let me briefly describe to you, there are subtypes. Now, the interesting thing about the subtypes is that the subtypes can be attached to any of the three major types of narcissism, but they exhibit particular traits that help you identify what they are. So if you do any kind of reading on narcissism, you're going to hear about the overt versus the covert. So whenever you hear about that, know that they are talking about um, subtypes of narcissism. So let me briefly explain what a covert narcissist is. A covert narcissist is one who kind of works behind the scenes. They tend to be more passive aggressive, and sometimes you might not even know that a person is a covert narcissist until some time has passed and you start to see some things in them that will make you say, hey, something's not right. Overt narcissists, on the other hand, will be very open about putting people down, about boasting, and looking for opportunities to take advantage of people. So really, just look to the meaning of the word should tell you overt, like they're overly doing something, and covert, kind of behind the scenes, sneak up on you type of narcissism. Okay, another subtype is the somatic versus the cerebral. Somatic narcissists are those individuals that are obsessed with their body, constantly looking in the mirror, constantly trying to perfect their physique or their shape. They are, you know, overly concerned with their youthful and external appearance. And either they spend lots of time in the gym or lots of time buying things to enhance their beauty and having plastic surgery and so forth and so on. Cerebral narcissists are the brainiacs. They think they know it all. They want others to know that they know it all. They always have to be the most intelligent ones in the room, always telling you about their accomplishments, always telling you about, what they've done, and trying to impress people with their credentials and their position and their power. So, like I said, these subtypes can be um, classified under any of the three major types, which are the classic, vulnerable, and malignant. And quickly, let me tell you about one more subtype, and that is the inverted narcissist. These are individuals who need to be codependent, mostly with another narcissist, and they're only happy when they are in a relationship with another narcissist. And how they get their supply is that they become the victims in just about everything. Everything that happens to them is the victimhood mentality. And a lot of times, the inverted narcissists suffer from some type of childhood trauma, which makes them dependent on someone else. So that is the inverted narcissist. So, hopefully, now that you know some of the difference when you see these terms, when you read about them, when you hear about them, you'll have a little more understanding. And just in closing, just be aware of the malignant narcissists, because those are the ones that are usually very abusive. Those are the ones that are really out there and seek to dominate and to control to a greater degree than the other type of narcissists. And you may find that people have bits and pieces of a lot of different types of narcissism. So be on the lookout. Understand what's going on to the best of your ability, but just really be aware of the malignant type. Those are the types that you should seek to avoid at all costs, because it's bad for you in just about every kind of way to be involved with a malignant narcissist. It's bad for you spiritually, it's bad for you mentally, and it's bad for you health and physically as well. So what I want to say, just in closing too, is that whatever situation you are in, wherever you're at in understanding narcissism and in dealing with a narcissist in your life, there is hope for you. There is healing for you. There is a way out. So never feel that you don't have a way out. Never feel that it is too late to start the healing process. One of the reasons that I have this page called Common Sense Christianity is to help people and to help others see that they do indeed have a way out, and that there is forgiveness, and that God actually is on your side, despite what you have heard, that God offers a way out. God offers salvation, forgiveness, and grace to all of us. And as we are seeking that grace, God will begin to heal us from the effects of a narcissistic abuse. So thanks for listening. Please do subscribe to our page. Please give us a thumbs up. If you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. We like to get feedback to let us know how we're doing. And our intent is to always provide you with content that's going to help you in your life, help you in your walk. So God bless you, and I'll see you next time.